Hey, what's going on, friends and theme park fans? This is Silver Stix here for another Stix Top 6, where I count down the best and worst that theme parks have to offer. Alrighty folks, today's definitely a big day here on Stix Top 6, not only because I'm finally back after another long hiatus, but because today we'll be heading out to two different areas in Walt Disney World that we've hardly even spoke about at all up to this point. And those places are, of course, as you could probably tell by the title and thumbnail, Typhoon Lagoon and Blizzard Beach. Originally, I was gonna make separate videos for both of these parks, but they're both pretty small, and because they're both located on the resort property, I just figured it'd make sense to combine them and make this single video even more epic. Hopefully, that is. Anyway, I wanted to keep things as simple as possible as we dip our feet in, quite literally, to these water parks, so what better way to do that than to count down the best and worst attractions at both Typhoon Lagoon and Blizzard Beach. If you're new around here and are unfamiliar with how a best and worst episode of Stix Top 6 works, it's super simple. Numbers 6 through 4 are going to be the top 3 worst attractions, while numbers 3 through 1 will be our top 3 best. That's it. I know, super easy stuff to wrap our heads around, but finally, with all that preamble out of the way, allow us to officially dive in to today's countdown. Kicking off our 3 worst attractions today in Blizzard Beach, where we can hop on an inner tube and jump right into the heated 1-acre wave pool, Meltaway Bay. And I guess I should get the one positive about this pool out of the way first. If you happen to get in there while it's not terribly busy, it can be pretty relaxing, but that's about it. And honestly, good luck getting in there when there's no crowd, cause that just about never happens. It's usually packed to the brim with bodies floating around, and there's almost a guarantee that all the inner tubes are already going to be taken by the time you show up. So, I mean, if you do decide to hang around this area, you'll probably just wind up sitting on land watching the water anyway, and that's just not that fun. And you might be thinking to yourself right now, well, Stix, I like wave pools. They're supposed to be packed, so it's a hilarious mess when the waves do come in, and normally, yes, I would completely agree with this sentiment. However, the waves in this pool are as light as you could possibly imagine. They're just there for you to bob over them a little and be able to lay in a tube and relax, which we mentioned already is probably not going to happen, because Meltaway Bay is not intense at all. It's meant for relaxation strictly, and honestly it even fails at that thanks to its capacity problem, which I guess isn't its fault on its own, but it's still just not a fun experience, and there's just simply no changing that. Making our way over to Typhoon Lagoon for our next worst pick today, where we can head to the top of Mount Mayday and fall into Keelhaul Falls. Bad pun completely intended. This is the definition of your average tube slide. There's basically zero theming here at all. It's just a white slide surrounded by brown rocks, and funnily enough, Keelhaul Falls is actually one of 2 sister slides, the other one being Mayday Falls, which is more intense and fun and worth your time. Keelhaul is just the boring, slower, all-around, less appealing version. I guess it's maybe nice for older folks or children, possibly, and for that alone it's worth something, I suppose, but it's still just a very basic, generic, and unbelievably forgettable ride that somehow usually has an excessively long wait time, and that's something I'll never be able to comprehend. I do want to give this ride, and Mayday Falls for that matter, some extra credit though, and say that the queue or the walk up to these rides is really cool and pirate-esque. It never fails to kind of get me pretty excited for either ride regardless of my opinions, and that by itself definitely does deserve some praise and acknowledgement, but whatever, on to number 4. Alrighty folks, to finish off our top 3 worst attractions today, we'll be heading back over to Blizzard Beach to race against the clock and a friend on the downhill Double Dipper. Now usually competitive slides like this are a lot of fun for me. I don't know why, it just adds that extra little bit of thrill as you're coming down the slide, and extra excitement is sure to ensue for whoever wins the race. However, the Triple D, no not diners, drive-ins, and dives, the downhill Double Dipper, is different than most race slides in that it lasts literally about 6 seconds from the top of the slide to the bottom. And no, it's not a drop slide, it's a tube slide. It's just the smallest little drop into a shallow little pool, and it's just pretty depressing, honestly. I guess, as I mentioned, if you do have a friend or family member you're with, this one could be fun enough for those 6 seconds, and you can often catch this one with a fairly short wait time, so there are moments when it could be worth visiting, maybe? But all in all, the Triple D is probably just not worth your vacation time, which is ironic because there's timers littered throughout this ride to give it some sort of appeal, I guess, as if lasting 6 seconds is a good thing. I could keep going, but I think you guys understand where I'm coming from with this one, and I'd rather get to more positive opinions at this point, so let me know if you guys agree or disagree with me on the Triple D. Because where I stand, it is easily the worst attraction in either Blizzard Beach or Typhoon Lagoon without a single doubt in my mind. Righto then, friends, let us traverse some greener pastures now and begin our top 3 best attractions by hanging around in Blizzard Beach and relaxing our way down the Cross Country Creek, or in other words, one of the absolute best themed lazy rivers of all time. This incredible excursion is 3,000 feet long in length and features some of the coolest aesthetic moments in water park history, from the frozen caverns and frost-bitten rocks and cement leading your way, to the lush and gorgeous greenery surrounding you, to funny references to the ice gator like his house and his Sunshine State snowmaking machine, which actually just splashes you with water, but you know, what did you really expect? And as you could probably guess, there's plenty of tubes to grab a hold of to float your way down the river, but in my honest opinion, it's equally fun to swim along and let the current propel you forward so you go speedy like a superhero. And because it's a lazy river, there's no wait times to worry about here. It's always something you can just pop in to cool down, or you can even use it to get to other locations around the park, so there's always an excuse to jump in here. If you do decide for whatever reason to avoid Cross Country Creek, I can assure you, you will regret that. It is a one-of-a-kind experience that absolutely deserves your attention on any vacation to the park. Sticking around in Blizzard Beach once again, where we'll be able to make our way up to the tippy top of Mount Gushmore to face Disney's most hardcore, intense, and terrifying drop slide of all time, the legendary Thrill Seeker's Dream, Summit Plummet. This slide drops you straight down 12 stories or 120 feet to the ground and uses its clever design to its advantage to scare people off, as it kinda does appear like it launches people in the air, but you really just go underneath into a dark slide that'll bring you all the way to the bottom in just about 10 seconds. It is pure adrenaline from the walk all the way up these flights of stairs until you're peering out over the Orlando skyline, and then to finally drop and ride to the bottom. It just feels so surreal and tingly in your stomach. It is truly an indescribable feeling and experience that you need to try for yourself. Videos definitely don't do this ride justice in any way at all. It is simply beyond words. I know this ride can be a little intimidating, but I promise it is worth every last second. Even if the wait times can get a little insane sometimes, Summit Plummet is utterly necessary on any trip to Blizzard Beach. Take my word for it. Alrighty then gang, finishing off our list today, we'll be moving back to Typhoon Lagoon to traverse the thrilling whitewater rapids of Misadventure Falls. This, in my opinion, is the sheer best attraction out of Blizzard Beach or Typhoon Lagoon, easily. To start, it's a raft ride that can fit up to 4 people at once, so you can ride with most of, if not all of your friends and family when you go. The wait times are always ridiculously low for this ride, I'm talking walk-ons on most days. The thrills are at a 10 while also being easy to conquer for most average people. The story, atmosphere, and theming of this ride are just out of this world. The ride duration is honestly pretty solid as far as water park rides go at 2 minutes long, and the audio animatronic parrot named Duncan at the beginning of the ride simply has my heart for all eternity. I want t-shirts, toys, and a movie based on him ASAP. I seriously just don't have anything at all negative to say about this ride. It is great for all ages, it simply doesn't get old no matter how many times you ride it, and it's basically one of the only water rides that features an animatronic figure, so we just gotta give credit where credit is due. Misadventure Falls easily, at least in my opinion, takes the #1 spot as the best water park attraction in Walt Disney World. And if you haven't ever given it a chance up to this point, I totally urge you to do so as soon as you possibly can. Alrighty then folks, so that's it. That's gonna about wrap up my best and worst attractions at the Walt Disney World water parks. I really hope you all enjoyed today's video. If you did, please consider leaving a like, comment, subscribe, and share the video around. It'd mean a lot to me and help out a ton. Also, feel free to leave in the comments what your favorite and least favorite attractions throughout Blizzard Beach and Typhoon Lagoon are, so we can start a big discussion down there. But anyway folks, with all that out of the way, this is your lifeguard, Silver Stix, signing out. I hope you have a great rest of your day, water park fans. Peace.